Welcome. First, I'd like to just thank you all for taking the time this afternoon to kind of just listen to what we have available for your students. And I guess reiterate the importance of our Career Development Center in the process of a student here at Alfred University. Um, Again, my name is Tom Orange. I'm the Dean for Student Experience. I'm always happy to meet with your students if they have questions about any items on campus. If I don't know the answer, I can direct them to the proper office for them to get answers. And I typically tell students to go meet with Jessica early in their career here at Alfred. The earlier, the better. I know she's going to reiterate that. But Jessica has developed a great team within the Career Development Center and is creating great opportunities for our students through the Career Development Center. So the earlier a student can get in touch with the Career Development Center, the better. What I try to tell students that every student leaves college with a BA or a BS. It's the other things that you have done while you're here at college that really help out. So being involved on the college on a day-to-day basis, being involved in clubs, being involved in different leadership aspects of the institution, doing those things will really help you set yourself apart. And Jessica will help your student build that resume to really showcase those things that you've done here on campus. So again, I think it's a great opportunity to listen today to hear what the Career Development Center has to offer. And then again, to really encourage your student to get in touch with the Career Development Center because it's so important for them to think about early and often what they're doing here on campus that's really going to help them move forward in that career path. So thank you very much for allowing me to kind of be here today and introduce myself and encourage your students to be a part of Alfred University in every way that they can.
Thank you, Tom. And now our feature presentation, I will turn it over to Jessica Donner, the Director of the Career Development Center.
Thank you, Jenny and Tom. So I'm really excited to be here with you today to talk about the Career Development Center, what my team is here to do to help your students prepare for what's to come after Alfred University. I'm going to share some slides with you, but I also wanted to take you into Handshake today so that you can see a little bit more about how your students can engage with our office. So I think the more people that understand what the student's experience looks like, the easier it is for us to help them through it. So right now you should be able to see my slides. If I could get a thumbs up from anybody that has their camera on, phenomenal, thank you. I do have your pictures here and my slides are here. So if I'm looking over here, it's because I want to make sure that I'm staying on track. I also have the chat box open, but Jenny's going to be taking a look at that. So if you have a question, please do feel welcome to unmute yourself and ask, or even put it in the chat box. I would love for this to be an open dialogue between us today. But if you're happy to just listen to what we have to offer, that'll work too. So a few things about my team before we get into our resources here on this list. There are 5 of us in the Career Development Center. We are a small but mighty team that are here to support all of our Alfred University students. So we are a centralized resource, which means we are here to support all students. So regardless if your student is in the College of Business, Liberal Arts and Sciences, or Engineering, or even Art and Design, we're here to support them. So all of the resources that we have to offer, we take an individualized approach to engage with your student, learn more about what their goals are, and help them to create a strategy. So some of the resources that we have here to offer are professional document review. This is our flagship resource. This is what Career Services is really known for, and I'm hoping to kind of debunk that a little bit today and share so much more that we have to offer, but it really is one of the most important resources that we have to offer. So if your student has an artist statement, a resume, a cover letter, a personal statement for maybe a graduate school application, those types of things, we're really here to support their thought process and strategy in developing those documents, but also helping them to learn how to articulate their experiences and their skills so that they can kind of present themselves as a competitive and compelling candidate for whatever role it is that they're applying for. We also do help with job and internship search with students. So we are here to help your students learn how to fish, right? We're not going to do it for them. We're going to help them to create a strategy and explore the different tools that they have at their fingertips. Quite literally, probably their phone is in their pocket all the time, or even just in their hands, to kind of navigate those different resources. And we're going to take a look at Handshake, which is one of our primary resources that we take them through. We also help with interview prep. Interview preparation is becoming one of the most important resources that we can offer your students. What we're learning in this new world of work, post-pandemic or post-shutdown pandemic, but also the world of work have changed a lot. And it's kind of returning to its roots of relationship building and communicating with each other. But there is this kind of like disconnect that we feel sometimes because of the nature of online connection, right? Through LinkedIn, or even just connecting in email, those types of things. And so helping your students to be able to verbalize their experiences, have conversations, be comfortable with introducing themselves professionally is becoming more and more important. And we have a couple of different tools that we use to do that. So your student can engage with us one-on-one. We do some really cool workshops. And we also have invested in a brand new tool called Big Interview. And so Big Interview is an online interview prep tool. I don't know that we'll have enough time to take a look at that as well as Handshake, but if we do, or if you want to hang out after, I'd be happy to kind of walk you through what that tool looks like. But essentially, it's a place for your student to get textual and video instruction. Think like quick, like YouTube shorts on how to answer different types of questions, and then they can actually practice as well. So an interviewer, recorded interviewer will ask a question, then they can record themselves answering the question and then review their answers. They can share that with a mentor. They can share it with our team. If they're scheduling a mock interview with me, they're probably going to get some prep work before they come in. They're going to answer a couple of questions so that I can review them and understand where we're getting started before they're here so that we can have a more productive conversation. We also help with networking assistance. So this could be your student is preparing for a club trip. So our economics club will be going to DC and they'll be doing some networking there. And our assistant director, Hannah, will be meeting with them today actually to help them kind of prepare for how to engage in these type of conversations, how to introduce themselves, how to get ready. We also do things on campus. Our career fair is this week. And we also bring employers in for other opportunities. Today, actually, right now, while we're talking, hopefully some of your students are over in Nevins Theater and they're engaging with a former faculty member and current artist union representative to learn more about what an artist union is, why it's important, how it can help them continue to network and build their professional brand as an artist. So we have a lot of really great stuff going on that will help them to network. We're also heavily involved in the mentorship day events that we hosted first this past fall, and then we'll be repeating that next fall. And that's a really great opportunity for your student to engage with some alumni. We do talk with them about applied and experiential learning. How do they find internships? How do they get co-ops? How do they use those experiences to make themselves more compelling in a competitive job market? We do some career assessments. So maybe your student's not sure what they want to do after they graduate. We have a number of assessments that we can offer. We have the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which is one of my favorites. It helps your students to focus on what they're inherently good at versus their deficits, and turning those talents into strengths versus focusing on what so-called weaknesses. We have the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which is a really great opportunity for your students to just kind of learn how they're engaging with the world, making decisions and coming to conclusions. And then we have the Strong Interest Inventory, which is a really great assessment for students who maybe are academic explorers. They're not sure what they want to study or what they want to pursue post-graduation. And so it can help them to identify their interests in the world and then apply it to the world of work. And it's a really great exploratory tool. We also have an employer relations coordinator who is hard at work at building new relationships and continuing to nurture existing relationships with employers who are excited to come to Alfred to meet your students. And then, of course, we can help with what's to come after if it's not work. And somehow I've gone back in time. So we're going to go forward now. So how do we help your students articulate all of these experiences? One of the things that we have to offer is our digital badge program. So the National Association of Colleges and Employers have identified 8 career readiness competencies that are in high demand in the workforce right now. So what we've done is we've taken those 8 competencies and we've turned them into digital badges. These are opportunities for your students to showcase their expertise in each of these skills and kind of brag a little bit about it and have it on their LinkedIn accounts, add it to their digital signatures, their other professional accounts if they're a part of a professional association, those types of things. Essentially, students can complete these badges as they're going throughout their career here at Alfred. We have some really ambitious students that kind of tackle them and try to complete them all in one semester. We have some students that kind of just do them along the way. The interesting thing about the badges, well, I think it's interesting, is that a lot of the tasks that students might be completing in order to earn the badge are already things that they're doing. So the goal here is to help them to start think about the things that they're doing inside and outside of the classroom through the lens of skill building, right? So that we can help them to learn to articulate how they're developing these skills throughout their experiences. In order to get the badges, they complete 4 tasks per badge. And this is, we'll get to, there we go, a sample assignment. So this is what one might look like for them. So they are able to log into Canvas right now. It's going to be moving to AU Connect for the next academic year. But if you have students that are interested in doing it this semester, it's still in Canvas. This is what it will look like. They log in and they have access to the Career Development Center page. And then they can peruse the badges, find one that they want to work on, and then it will present 4 tasks for them to complete. This particular badge is about student leadership. And so they would attend a student meeting and then they would provide us a brief reflection on that experience and really kind of think about how that experience related to that skill. And this is part of the method of madness, right? Like, and they're providing that reflection. So they're learning now to articulate what that experience was and how it related to that skill. So they're able to do this as they like. There are 8 badges, and then we are also stacking their badges. So if they're competitive like me, they can combine any 2 badges and become a career-ready specialist. If they earn 4, they can become an advanced career-ready professional, then a master. And if they get all 8, they become a career-ready professional expert. And I'm really hoping that all of our students hope to get that expert badge, because that really showcases that they have become a master or an expert in all 8 of the NACE career readiness competencies. Okay, we have also partnered with the Judson Leadership Center to offer a additional digital credential called the Leadership Development Credential. This is 50% career readiness and 50% leadership specific skills. How this works, it's also going to be in Canvas. This is a more formal course. It's not credit bearing, but it's a guided experience for students to develop career readiness as well as leadership skills. So the research tells us that aside from technical learning in a resume, so maybe we have 2 really competitive candidates and they both have a Bachelor of Science in economics or something like that. The deciding factor on which one is going to be a more competitive candidate is which one is presenting leadership skills on their resume, right? So maybe they're both captains of a sport team and they both have a really great GPA and they've both been involved in their communities. The next deciding factor that's going to really kind of help that employer decide which one they're going to call is going to be leadership skills. So knowing this, we wanted to make sure that leadership is available to everyone. So there's a multiple pathways that students can engage in the leadership development credential. They can opt in if they want to just kind of do it on their own. It's a guided course through Canvas. Anybody that's participating in the Women's Leadership Academy, which is a course offered through the Judson Leadership Center, will be given the leadership credential as well. We have our lead athletic students. If your student's a part of the lead athletic program, they will also have an opportunity to gain this credential if they complete just a few of the modules in addition to the lead athletic program. And so we're always looking for additional opportunities for students to be able to engage with these types of resources and making it available equitably to everyone. So this is a really great opportunity if you have a student that's interested in going into management. Maybe they have big dreams of becoming a CEO or starting a nonprofit, or even just kind of like advancing in their career. This could be a really great opportunity for them. So let's talk about APEX. Applied and experiential learning is a cornerstone of Alfred University. We talk a lot about how we practice our disciplines here. So if you're a history major, you are practicing your ability to record and recover history. If you are an engineer, you are practicing your engineering skills and so on. And so part of that is applied and experiential learning. If you have a junior or senior student, or if you have a sophomore student who will be a rising junior student, this is a great opportunity for them. So APEX is one-time funding of $1,000 to help them support an applied or experiential learning activity. So perhaps your student is participating in a practicum experience because they're a psychology student, and it's time for them to get their 100 clinical hours, and it's an unpaid experience. They can apply for APEX funding to help offset the cost of that experience. If we have a student that's doing study abroad, this can also be a resource for them to help fund that experience. Most frequently, we're seeing students using this to support experiences that go above and beyond their classroom experience, right? So if you have an art student, this might be something that they use to support their senior showcase, or even go abroad to do a study abroad experience, or even we have a student who's right now in France, and she's doing a semester abroad. So she's studying at a French institute, and she used this funding to help to support that experience. So there's a lot of really great opportunities that this funding can support. It is only available to junior seniors. It is a one-time funding opportunity. So I would encourage you to help your student to think critically about how they would make use of this. This is a snapshot of one of our senior students from last fall who used her APEX funding to support her senior showcase. Through this experience, she was able to create a really beautiful gallery experience, and she also ended up selling some of her work through that. And it was an opportunity that otherwise she wouldn't have been able to produce such a wonderful gallery experience for those folks that went to see her art without that funding. We also have Cheryl's Closet, which is a professional clothing resource for your students here on campus. I'm sure many of them forgot to pack a blazer or some professional attire when they were getting ready to return to campus from winter break. So this is 100% fueled by donations. We were really fortunate to partner with the Alumni Association over this past summer, who raised dollars and clothes to stock the closet. We also receive clothing donations from alumni, faculty, and staff. We also get some from parents. So this is my plug to you. If you're going to be cleaning out your closet when you come and pick up your students for the summer, and you want to donate some gently used professional clothing, please let us know. We'd be happy to meet you wherever you park your car and pick them up. We are finding that a lot of first-year students are taking advantage of this resource, which is phenomenal. So that means that they're starting early. and thinking about presenting themselves professionally. And about half of our students were visiting the closet because they were participating in a networking event, whether it was a career fair or an economics club trip or something like that. They were coming because they understood the value of presenting themselves professionally in those experiences. So I know that there's a couple of questions in the chat that I'd love to answer real quick. And then I'm going to take you into Handshake briefly, just so that we can kind of take a look at that. So let's go ahead and see. I'm seeing, as a parent, can I call in and get job ideas for my student without my student being on the call? So I would certainly be happy to talk with you about different opportunities that are available to different majors or typical job pathways and things like that. I don't think I would be incredibly comfortable talking about your particular student's pathway, only because each individual student's post-graduation plan is going to look a little bit different. And we really do take an individualized approach. So you and I could talk about like just kind of like the changes that are happening in different career fields, but I would really want to be talking with your student about their particular choices and plans. So that way we can create an individualized strategy and they can feel supported in that. Also, there's a question here, after graduations, what services do you provide? I'm happy to share that all of our career readiness resources are available to students when they become alumni. So we actually do have a really great engaged alumni network that continue to use our resources, whether they're going through a career change or they're a recent graduate and they're still navigating being a new professional. We do continue to engage. So everything that we talk about today, Cheryl's Closet, Handshake, everything that we're going to look at in there remains available to your student after they graduate. Jenny, did I miss any questions in the chat?
No, not I actually didn't see those either. So
I think those are directly to me, which is fine.
okay. I was like, oh no, is something wrong with Zoom?
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to switch my screen here and we're going to take a look at Handshake. So now what you should be seeing is little Alf. Yeah? Okay, cool. Okay, so this is what Handshake looks like to your student. Right now I'm viewing it as little Alf, who is our mascot. But this is kind of what it's going to look like for your student. I thought it would be helpful for you to kind of see, like, how do they get engaged with all of these really cool resources that I've talked to you about? And it's going to be here through Handshake. So Handshake at its core is a job search tool. But it's also our career center management tool. So this is how they're going to be able to find jobs and internships, connect with employers, but also this is going to be how they engage with my team and schedule appointments with us. So Handshake is like LinkedIn, but for students. Okay, so it is a tool that we make available to students so that they can connect with each other students at other Handshake universities, employers that have connected with us. Employers are able to connect with us through Handshake. They are not automatically approved. They go through a vetting process, but through Handshake and then through us if they're a new employer. They must be able to post a job if they're a new employer to Handshake. So these are employers that are actively posting jobs, at least right now, as they're connecting with us. And these are employers that are connecting with us because we have programs that they are interested in recruiting from. So these are employers that are looking specifically for Alfred students. We have over 14,000 employers connected with us in Handshake, and every day we are vetting new ones. So your student can create their profile. It operates very much like LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you know that you can include your work history, some of your skills, education, projects, all different types of things here in Handshake they're able to build. On the left-hand side here is the toolbar that they would use to engage in Handshake. So this Explore button is going to talk to them about some of the jobs in your major. So this is going to be based on their profile settings. So they're going to want to make sure that they're paying attention to their profile settings. They're seeing stuff in here that is not relevant to them. They're complaining like there's nothing for me. Maybe let's encourage them to check their profile settings, make sure that Handshake is looking for the things that they're interested in. There's videos, our upcoming career fair is in here for them to take a look at. employer events, things that are happening on campus for if they're interested in working on campus, and some of our collections. Collections are things that we have a couple of our student employees that work in the Career Center. They're our career peer mentors. They're combing Handshake, looking for opportunities that fit the programs that we have and creating some really cool communities for us in collections. So the collections are going to be in the healthcare. These are all going to be for pre-med students or students that are looking to are going into different healthcare related fields and so on. And so we're continuing to build those for each program. There's a lot of them in there. So this is a great place for them to get started if they just want to kind of explore Handshake. The Explore feature is a really great place for them to get started. Their feed, this is much like LinkedIn as well. They're able to post and see other posts, and this is all fueled by folks that are connected in Handshake, whether they're an employer or a student at Alfred or another Handshake school. This is how they're connected here. If they have messages, it would be in their inbox, but this feature, the jobs, this is the one that everybody wants to know about, right? So in the jobs tool, this is our job search tool. It is very much like LinkedIn experience. When you're looking at different jobs, you've got some searches here, lots of filters that you can use. If your student is looking for on-campus employment, they can either find some of that through the Explore button, or you're going to encourage them to click on this All Filters tab and then click on On Campus. And that's going to narrow it down specifically to on-campus jobs. All on-campus employment should be listed here in Handshake. So if they're not finding an opportunity that is either relevant or available to them, encourage them to contact me or my team, and we would be happy to engage with them and find additional opportunities that might be available. Events is a place where your student can see what is happening on campus through the Career Development Center with employers, or things that are being hosted by employers. What's really cool is a lot of employers are posting their virtual events on Handshake. So I like to look through this and share different opportunities with specific students. So if I see something that might be relevant to our accounting students, they'll get an email from me. All accounting students will get it from me saying, like, maybe this is something that you'll be interested in, but they can come and find those things as well. So they have a lot of those same filters, but these are going to be events that employers are hosting. So this is going to be virtual networking opportunities for your students to engage with employers. And so I always encourage them to come in and see, is there anything that is going to be relevant to them? Let's say they're interested in Affinity Office Hours Resume Workshop with McKinsey and Company. And so this is a great place for them to come and get some resume insights from McKinsey and Company. And this is going to be from their perspective, right? So resume writing is very subjective, and it's hard to know what every single employer is going to be looking for specifically. So if your student was like really excited about this organization, they could log in, they could get the inside scoop on how to make sure that their resume is going to be competitive. So they can get some information about this. They can register for the event, they can add it to their calendars, and then go and participate and get some behind the scenes input on resumes from McKinsey and Company. So that's just a really great example of some of the stuff that your student might be able to see there. People is a new feature, and this is how your student can connect with other students or employers that are also connected in Handshake. They can browse employers specifically if they're looking for someone specific. They can come in here and see what they're up to. They can follow employers. They can favorite jobs and have them kind of create like a personalized experience for themselves. My favorite button here is the Career Development Center because I'm biased. But this is how your student can connect with our team in addition to just stopping by our office in Alumni Hall on the 3rd floor. They can schedule an appointment with us by clicking on appointments. All of our resources, they can schedule a specific time to chat about one-on-one. We have a resource library here, which is undergoing some construction, but we've got a lot of really great stuff in here. So if they were interested about learning Apex, they can filter on that. We've got a lot of really great resume resources in here. So we always tell them not to use templates that they find online. A lot of those templates have like tables and text boxes and images and colors, and it's all very strange. And a lot of times those are not going to make it through an ATS review. So what we've done is we've created a resource for them about resumes. We've got a checklist in here as well, but then we've created some samples, and these are all Word docs, plain text, Word documents that they can download and then update with their own information. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff in here. We've got some general examples, but then we have samples for a lot of our majors that they can kind of go through and explore. If they're not really sure where to get started, they're not ready to have a conversation with us, or maybe it's 3 o'clock in the morning because students do things at crazy hours when I'm at home asleep in bed. So they can come in and get some immediate resources. They can get some information about internships, developing and maintaining their professional brand. You have a student who's interested in creating a portfolio. We have some really great resources in here for them as well. So also in the Career Center is where they're going to be able to find those collections. So they can come in here. They can check out those collections, and this is going to be jobs that are specific to those interests. And then we also have our upcoming employer-based events. So we do have our career fair this Friday. Encourage your student to come to it. It's from noon to 3 in the Joyce and Walton Center. And if they're interested in finding out who's going to be there, they can come and click on the career fair from the Career Center tab here, and they can explore the employers who will be there. Also, if they come and they check in at the career fair and they check in with at least 3 employers, they'll be entered to win a really cool VR video game thing. So they can come in here and they can browse through some employers, find out what they're all about. What is this organization? What are some of the jobs that they have posted? All that good stuff. So, and also who's going to be here from that organization, so they can connect with them before or after and get some more information there. So that is Handshake in a nutshell. I have another question here. Is this currently available or upcoming? Do we mean Handshake? Is that what the question is? Please feel free to unmute yourself if you, or okay. Handshake is available now. Yes. So all of these tools and resources are there. They have access. Every student who is enrolled in courses has access to Handshake. If they've never logged in, it's their Alfred University email address and password, the same thing they use to log into just about everything else, is going to give them access to this. The first time that they log in, it's going to take them through their profile setup. That's going to be where they can tell Handshake what industries they're interested in, and what types of opportunities they want to see, so that it can make those recommendations for them. But then they can continue to update those settings as they continue to grow and evolve. Good question.
Couple more questions, Jess. Is Handshake available to alumni?
Yes. So if your student is getting ready to graduate, we encourage them to go into their profile and update their preferred email to a personal email. And that will allow them to continue to access it using that email address. They won't lose access using their Alfred email, but if they don't choose to retain their Alfred email and they forget their password, they won't be able to reset it. Now, if that happens, my team can go in on the back end and update the email for them and send them a password reset link. But if they want to be able to do that without having to engage with my team, they should update their preferred email to a personal email. If you have maybe a student that has already graduated and you have a second student that's here, and that's why you're joining us today, and you don't know if your first student that has already graduated has access, they can always contact us. We can let them know, or if they don't have access, we can give them access. So if they graduated maybe 8 years ago, we probably didn't have Handshake 8 years ago, I can create an account for them and they can gain access. So yes, it is available to alumni.
Also, is the Career Development Center open over the summer?
We are. This is a great question. We are, and we don't have a lot going on because the students aren't here. So if your student is interested in engaging with us over the summer, we would love to continue to work with them. They can work on digital badges over the summer. If they're doing an internship and they have some questions, if they're looking for opportunities to engage with employers, or if they want to do some networking, we can help them find some cool stuff wherever home is for them. So we are here. We operate during most breaks. So we were here during spring break last week. We are not here when the university is closed completely. So winter break, when everything is shut down, we are not here. Otherwise, we are open. So if the university is open, we are here and ready to engage with your students. Our normal office hours during the regular semester, which is fall and spring, are 8:30 to 4:30. This semester, we're hosting after-hour appointment times for your students, so you can drop in or schedule an appointment on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday until 7 p.m. So we have a lot of availability to meet with your students. So if you have a student athlete or maybe a student that has a heavy course load and they can't get here before 4:30, that's okay. They can hang out with us after 4:30 until 7 p.m. on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this semester. And then during the summer, our office hours are 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. But I always tell students, and I want to share this with the families as well, if your student is only available on a Saturday morning, or they have an opportunity that they're really excited about, and they need to meet with me during non-typical business hours, right? Or if their schedule is such that they can only meet on a Sunday or something like that, encourage them to contact me. I will always try to make myself available. If I can't be available, I will try to get one of my team members to be available. So we will always try to accommodate your students' schedule. They just need to tell us, they need to contact us, and then we can make that happen for them.
Thanks, Jess. One more question. Is there a URL that will take a parent to information about Friday's career fair?
Yes. Yes, but it's not going to be in Handshake. So I'm going to take you to our AU Connect page. And I'll put it in the chat. Yeah. So AU Connect is actually where I was going to take you next anyway. So that's a really great segue. Thank you for whoever put that question there. AU Connect is a really great place for your student to learn more about what's happening on campus, whether it's with the Career Development Center or elsewhere. For example, we've got professional headshots happening today in the link at 3 p.m. And this is going to be hosted by the Taft and Moskowitz Residential Community, the Office of Residence Life, Common Hall Communities, and the Community Engagement LLCs. So they're having professional headshots, which is awesome. It's super advantageous for Career Fair Week. So AU Connect is available to anyone that has access to the internet. You can download the Quark app. It's CORQ, and you can look up events on Alfred University's campus. You can also look up events that are happening at other campuses that are using the same tool. You won't be able to necessarily register for things that aren't public. We do make all of our events listed as public, so anybody can see them. You just might not be able to register or engage with some of those things because you're not a student, you don't have a student login. But that you can get information about the career fair by coming here, and then you can search for the Career Development Center. Or you can go, which I think is faster, you can click on this little people button here and it's going to take you to organizations. And I like to just search for Career Development Center here. And that's going to take you to our community. And this is going to be where you see more information. So you can click on the Career Bash. This is a link. Let me copy that and put it in the chat. And I'll take you directly to it. Oh, I sent that directly to Fran. Sorry, Fran. Let me put that into everyone's chat as well. And there we have it. So this will take you to it. This will tell you more about when it's happening, where it's going to be, all that good stuff. So this is going to be the best place, I think, for families to kind of see what's going on campus, including what's happening with the Career Development Center. Everything that we do, even if it's with employers, is going to be in AU Connect for your student to learn more about. So you can see the Lunch and Learn for Artists Unions is happening right now in Nevins Theater. Our after hours are posted here as well. And then our Career Bash. Also coming up, we have some stuff. We're doing resume draw. So your student can create a resume and be entered to win some cool prizes. This is partnering with the learning living communities and residential communities. So they can enter their resume to win. And then we are also doing on April 2nd, a digital portfolio workshop in one of our computer labs to help students develop a digital portfolio using Google Slides. It's a free tool for your students to use to showcase their best work. This is not only for art students. It can be something that maybe students who are doing coding or writing and creative writing, if they're doing broadcasting, those types of things. This can be a really great place for them to create a personalized website showcasing their best work that can really complement their applications. So this is a great place to go to see what's happening in the Career Development Center and encourage your students to come and get engaged with us. So those are all of the fun updates that I had to share. We have lots of time left over on purpose because I wanted to give you a chance to ask questions, or we can go into other tools that you might be interested in looking at. I'm here to chat about any of that.
If you have questions, feel free to post them in the chat. Just the way that this webinar was set up is that the attendees cannot unmute. So feel free to post them in the chat. I'll try to remember to set it up differently next time so that folks can just chime in.
No worries. Jenny and Tom, do you think there's anything that I could or should go into, or have anything that you would like to share about any of that?
No, I think you did a pretty comprehensive job. But again, and this is, I think, one of the things why we have a family association is we want to help support families in the way that they support their student. Just reminding them that things like AU Connect exist and they should be looking in there for upcoming events, not just Career Development Center, but all events on campus.
Yes.
We have so many things going on campus. It's very easy for a student to be involved. Sometimes we hear, hey, what do we do? There's nothing to do. And then we're like, oh my goodness, there is so much to do. A lot of students know, but again, this is a way to just, encourage your students to, be involved and engaged. We know engaged students are much more successful students. So we do our best to get students engaged, but it's always good to have a partner in that and helping your students realize that being engaged is a good thing to do. And then the other thing I would just like to mention, just generally, once again, that thinking about career path early is very important. And understanding that it's a developmental piece. It doesn't just happen. It happens over time. So again, the more you can encourage your student to be involved in thinking about that career path, the better off they are in the long run. So just things to help support your student. That's what we're looking for through the Family Association and webinars like this.
Perfectly said. I haven't seen any other questions pop up in the chat. So
I actually do have one that came directly to me, Jenny. And the question is, if you have an art student, where do you recommend that they go to find potential internships for this upcoming summer? This is a really great question, Mandy. Thank you for that. There's a lot of different places that your student can go. First, Handshake. I always recommend Handshake as one of the first places to go whenever your student is looking for opportunities, because those are organizations that are interested in the programs that we have here, including our art and design programs. Additionally, I would encourage your student to engage with their faculty members, specifically in the arts or performing arts, because they are always being made aware of different opportunities for your students to engage in internships, co-ops, residencies, those types of things. So they can be an incredible resource. Our assistant dean over in art and design, Maria Bentley, has also shared that she is available for students to connect with her. And she's happy to help them also identify some opportunities that they might be interested in, whether it's during the regular semester or over the summer. If they're not really sure where to get started, I would encourage them to engage with my team, and we can help them to create a strategy using a medley of those tools and really identifying opportunities that are going to be the best for them. And then, you're welcome. One last thing to just kind of tack on to what Tom was talking about with your student engaging with us early and often. We are currently trying to engage with all first year and sophomore students. So if you have a first year or sophomore student, please encourage them to schedule their career check-in appointment with us. They've received postcards from me in their on-campus mailbox, and they're receiving email notifications directly from me as well. It's really important that they come in and chat with us. What I'm sharing with you now is a brief bulleted plain document of our career readiness roadmap. This is part of our strategic plan, and it's also something that I'm pouring a lot of our resources into because it's so incredibly important for your students to be thinking about what's going to happen next, even in their first year here. So this is a very basic best case scenario, like nothing else in the world is interfering. So this is probably never going to be the actual roadmap for your student. But these are some of the things that your student should be thinking about in each of their academic years here at Alfred University. And so if you have a first year or sophomore student, please encourage them to engage with us this semester. If you have a student who's sophomore, they're going to engage with us this semester, and then next year, when they're a junior, they're going to engage with us again because there's going to be some other stuff that we're going to be talking with them about as well. And so encourage them. And I'm going to leave this up here. If you wanted to take a screenshot, I can even make it a little bit smaller. This is not in any way confidential. Just know that this is a guideline. It is not a hard and fast rule. Your student might come in to their first year and be really ambitious, and they might be working on things that typically students might not think about until their sophomore or junior year. You might have a student that's been here for a year or two, and they haven't really been thinking yet about what's happening after graduation because coming to college can be really overwhelming. So they might be starting earlier in this to-do list maybe, but feel free to take a snapshot of this if you like. Your students getting a lot of information from my team about this. All of our resources are designed to support this plan for them to kind of be working through career readiness as they're going through their education here at Alfred. So when your first year or sophomore students coming to chat with us this semester, we're talking with them about these ideas or these items here, in addition to like what are their goals and how can we personalize this for them and really create a nice strategy. Juniors and seniors, same thing, but we're just kind of talking a little bit more about like, let's get you some experiences. Let's do that applied and experiential learning. Let's now start doing some networking and practicing our professional introduction more frequently. And we also have some specialized resources for graduate students. So if you have a student that's thinking about doing graduate school here at Alfred, we will continue to support them with some relevant resources for them as well. I have a couple more questions, Jenny. I'm going to get through them. I know that we have just a few more minutes left. Will there be career fairs and other events at different times of the day or week? My daughter works during that time slot, and says that she usually works, has classwork when a lot of these things are taking place. So yes, we are hosting our career fair this semester on a Friday. Generally speaking, our career fairs in the past have been held on Thursdays from noon to 3. Last semester, we had employers here from 3 to 6 instead of noon to 3. So we had them here later in the day. And then this semester, we're doing it on a Friday instead of a Thursday because we took a look how we're scheduling these things. The method to our madness here in the Career Development Center is we're looking at the course schedules, right? So today we're doing the Artists Union Lunch and Learn during the lunch hour because we could feed people and it made sense, but also we looked at the course schedule and we found that there were not an overwhelming number of art courses happening at that time. So that audience that was going to be most interested in artist unions was most available during the lunch hour on a Tuesday. So that's why we chose today to do that. And so that's how we're kind of thinking through, like, when are we making these things available? We're taking a look at the course schedules. I know that that doesn't always capture on-campus student employment. I will be actually encouraging our on-campus employers to allow students to go to the career fair during that time, at least for half an hour, 45 minutes, so they can engage with those employers. A lot of faculty will allow students to either be late or come, leave early or even cancel class for the career fair and those types of things. So we continue to work with our campus partners to try to make sure we're making these things available to the most students as we can. If your student is still just unable to get to it, maybe it's just the perfect storm of conflicts for them, and they see some, I would encourage them, take a look at who's going to be at the career fair. And if there's an employer or two or three that they are really anxious to engage with, have them come and chat with me and our employer relations coordinator, Emily, and we will try to set up a time that works for your student in that employer to connect. So we will always try to accommodate that. Another question is, can this be emailed to us or posted somewhere for parents to see? It will actually be recorded in our recording today. So once Jenny gets that recording up on the Family Association website, you can go and get it there. Jenny's put our contact information in there if you have a question. Thank you so much for spending part of your Tuesday with us. It's been really awesome to share these resources with you. It really does take a village to help our students become ready for post-graduation success, whatever that's going to look like for them. My team is small, and we are mighty, but we really would love to partner with you. If you're an employer and you want to hire some students from Alfred, you can always contact us. If you have questions about how is my student going to be able to have gainful employment after graduation, I'd be happy to chat with you about some general stuff about the market. Or if you have questions about the resources that we have to offer, I'd be happy to answer those questions as well.
Thank you so much, Jess and Tom, and thank you as well from me to everyone who took the time to be here today to support your student. We really appreciate it. This is the second of our 2 webinars for this semester. You will receive an email from me later this week, probably on Thursday, that will have a link to the website where the recording of this will be. You can also see past recordings from this year as well as previous years. Also, I'm always open to suggestions. So we did a webinar with Residence Life last month, but if there are other areas on campus that you as a parent or family member of a student really would like to hear from, please let me know and I will do my best to see if that's something that we can set up. So thank you again so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.